Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm going to do another couple of videos before bed. I promised myself some games, but what I figured I'd do is a chalk a bit. It's a bit dark in here, so hence the reason why I'm using the camera light. So apologies for the shininess. But what you've got here is the GP2X. This is the F100 model. So it doesn't have a touch screen or anything like that, like the GP2X Wiz, the F200. And anyone who's not familiar with the GP2X, it's a programmable Linux-based handheld machine. Basically, think of all the things that you'd want a handheld machine to do, and this pretty much does it. You've got games, emulation, you've got homebrew, there's everything from Linux terminals to media players. It's an ebook reader, and it also plays movies as well, and it pretty much does everything that you would want a modern machine to do, really. So the media on the device is SD, and you just format that FAT32 and you drop your files onto it. There's a GP2X file archive, which I think is still going now, and you can basically just download what you like from there. I'm going to do another video in a little while showing off some of the virtues of it, but I really just wanted to show you the machine because I haven't really given it much love, shall we say, in terms of my other machines at the moment. In terms of what it did give me, it gave me the ability to just play any kind of, like, pretty much every console or gaming machine up to and including the PlayStation. Admittedly, some of the emulators needed some work, and admittedly, you know, some games don't run, blah blah blah. Pretty much what you'd expect from emulators. However, in terms of what it can give you, it's pretty much fantastic. There's literally hours of entertainment. The interesting thing as well is that games, there are GP2X exclusive games. There are also games that have been converted to the GP2X as well in their own right. So it's not just for emulators, it can play other games as well. And I'll show you some gameplay of those also. The machine is interesting in that it takes a very specific kind of, it has a very specific kind of power requirement. Most of my chargers don't work on it, I have to use a very special kind of voltage and stuff like that. Also, you would find, also bizarrely, or maybe not bizarrely, I don't know, the device although it uses two AA batteries, regular AA batteries, the kind of which that you'd get from maybe a supermarket or maybe a general store or something like that, do not work properly on there. They give you maybe about 10 or 15 minutes of life, if that. And it shocked me, basically. Basically, you have to. I then discovered through the power of the internet and what have you, that you can actually get high capacity batteries, you know, batteries that give you a much higher output or voltage or whatever you want to describe it as. So there you go. Basically, if I want to use this portably, I have to use a special type of battery. It's interesting. One of the reasons why I brought the GP2X out to show you, apart from obviously the fact that I was going to do it at some point anyway, is I'm doing some experiments with batteries at the moment in anticipation for my Virtual Boy, and also for my Lynx as well, because I'm getting a bit, well, to put it bluntly, I'm getting a bit tired of having to be attached to something to play it. So there. The GP2X is a great machine. For what it gives you. There's two shoulder buttons at the top here, L and R. There are Y, A, X and B, select start. There's a volume control there as well, and it plays in stereo. It's got two ARM processors within it, and it's kind of interesting really because it is quite a powerful machine for what it is. If you was to buy this I don't know if they discontinued this particular model, but if you was to buy this, you would get a disc with some programming tools on and some other bits and pieces as well, and a USB cable and things. It really is. You can really, the great thing about it is if there's something on there that you want, if there's something that you want on and you don't have access to it, you can maybe make it yourself. There's tons of libraries and things like that, and there's tons of things that people have done, and it's a completely open-ended machine in that sense. There's always something somewhere along the line that someone's made. So the machine can never really get boring. It potentially has an infinite lifespan in terms of what people can do for it and stuff like that. You'll find that a lot of the emulators and things like that there are some really professionally done ones, some really good ones, and there are ones that they do the job, but they're not brilliant. But I'll show you that in another video. The whole thing, now you can probably get them on eBay for like £40 or £50, if that, for this particular model, for the F100s. And if you want gaming on the go, if you want something that you can just grab and boom and play, you'll probably get a kick out of this. You can drop movies onto the SD card, and there's a dedicated movie player. There's an ebook reader as well. It reads text files and things like that. And the applications, you can get applications specifically for it. Everything's pretty much freeware. There's no chargeable stuff at all. Of the games, there's a game called Payback, which is like a Grand Theft Auto clone. I think that actually got converted to other machines, and I think you can get it on Android as well now. But there's also a game called Vector, which is it plays a bit like Geometry Wars, and it, from what I've heard, it was developed by someone who was involved in the Geometry Wars development team. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm not entirely sure, but there are a lot of similarities to it. The machine is in my opinion a really good machine. I've neglected it slightly. I haven't really played on it that much, purely because I've had other things. I've got that much stuff. One thing I didn't mention was the headphone jack. Well, obviously the SD card slot you've seen there. That there is a very interesting little slot. It's basically, for want of a better expression, it's an EXT, and it's an extension connector. You can buy a device which I actually own as well, called the Breakout board. The Breakout board lets you plug the GP2X into. It basically gives the GP2X 4 USB ports, some connectors to connect it to monitors and TVs and things like that, and other little bits and pieces as well, effectively turning it into either a media center, a gaming console in its own right, or, interestingly enough, a kind of PC. It's also great for the development opportunities that it would give you as well. I've got that as well, and that is it's kind of interesting. You can use that connector as well to plug directly into the TV, and there are emulators that support that function. Some emulators don't support it, some programs don't support it. However, it's a neat little thing. You can use it as a standalone console, or you can just have it walking around and stuff like that. I'm going to show you some cool stuff on it in a moment, in another video. For now, bask in the brilliance of a truly open-ended machine. There you go. Alright guys, well, I strongly advise you get one of these if you fancy gaming on the go, or if you like the idea of maybe programming for yourself. And in the meantime, I'll get going, and I'm going to start doing maybe a gameplay video of this. Speak to y'all soon.